Art is not easy to define. It's a very philosophical term. Art is mostly emotions composed and mixed with some skills.
It can come as plain as photograph or or complex to different levels in terms that can be expressed in a small or large scale.
Art, it's by itself, it's a whole world. If you understand it, you need you need art in your life. Even for example, if you want to help as a teacher, to be as a teacher one day, art can help to express the self.
But the main challenge is also to have a proper status for the artist here in the UAE. It's not fully the case, you know. We need to accept this as a full-time profession and not an activity you do on the side. And maybe that's why we haven't seen many artists that stuck to this field, because they simply don't have the means to continue. Producing work do cost money, and maybe they don't have the support to continue in the long term, you know.
الآن للأسف يعاملون الفنان الناشئ من سنتين ثلاث مثل الفنان لقطع شوط كبير. الفرص الآن opportunity حق الناس اللي لسه بادين أكثر من أن احنا للأسف هناك مفهوم خاطئ يتهموننا بعض الناس بالذات أنا ومجموعتي، يعني اللي احنا محافظين على بعض الأشياء بالرجعية والتخلف نحن أساسا بادين قبل سنوات كثيرة.
The criticism I get is, for example, if you draw a face, they will go into the cultural details. No, it's Islamically prohibited. And then you come into this whole argument, is it prohibited or is it not? And I'm not going to go into it. But like I said, there's definitely a cultural element to artists here, especially in this country. Doesn't have to apply to everyone. This is my personal experience. Art does not seem very useful in my life, but it's useful to me, so that's what I care.
You know, art was in our Arabic culture since old days. But since we are improving every time, you know, since the technology is entered, art has been like maybe the second option for people to, for example, go to an art galleries and stuff. They prefer going to, for example, an IT conference or IT exhibition rather than an art. But I think that there is those people that they would love to see our art, that they would love to talk and express themselves to us, even as a business, in a business way.
There are so much within the UAE culture and heritage that needs to be showcased in an artistic format. We as UAE, let's say photographers, are mainly focusing on the general things that are represented there from the UAE culture, whether it's a falconry or our common dalla, for instance. This is how we showcase the UAE art and culture. But I have given the interest to go far beyond that, to showcase exactly what is art and how we can express it, to showcase our culture in a different way.
When I think about art, like, it's always a mixture of culture as well. Every artist expresses their own culture, either the family culture, the region culture, their own culture, individual personality. Definitely, my culture, my Emirati culture, affects my art. But of course, there is this whole space in me. It's called individuality. I have my own creativity space, and I don't see it clashing with my own society. No.
I know each artist, he's been known for what he does or what he draws. But for example, for me, I do everything. I like to do something to do with art. It depends. Like each year, I do like 3 to 4 sections, like like brainstorming ideas.
مجتمع الإمارات محتاج نحن نكون معاه بالمرحلة الوسطية. رغم أن عمر جامعة الإمارات انتشرت 35 سنة وشيء من القبيل، لكن السن نحن ننظر للفن الاولويات والاستهلاكيات اكثر من للفن. نحن يعني قله المجموعه اللي فاهمين ثقافه اللوحه، قله ما زالوا رغم من وجود جاليريات في دبي وفي ابو ظبي والى اخره، لكن شوفي الاجانب مهتمين، لكن مجتمع الامارات ما زال شويه لم تصل، بالتالي يجب ان نتعامل مع مفاتيح معينه توصل للناس.
So that's where we need to develop more of a social responsibility. We need to see more support for government, even corporation. They need to support, you know, what is a common practice in Europe. Like any young artist can go and submit a project to a government or to a corporation, and they will get patronage for it. They will be paid to do their work. So that's how they sustain. And I feel we need to develop more of these initiatives here in the region, or more a systemized process.
There are many artists who don't do the exact right things. There are a million genres of arts. So as long as you have the feeling and the willing to learn new skills, it'll be art. That's art to me.